Man, Arkansas, man. Oh my God, bro. They choked. But before we get into that, this is a basketball channel. We don't just talk college ball. Like, matter of fact, we rarely talk college ball except for March Madness. So let's start with the NBA. There were like three good games: Spurs, Cavs, Mavs, Magic, and then we had the Lakers, Bulls, insane fiasco, Josh Giddey. We'll get to all those games, and then we'll get to the two Sweet 16 games that I want to talk about today. Let's get into the Spurs Cavs. I mean, I guess shout out to the Spurs. They kept it competitive. But Jared Allen's 29 points, Donovan Mitchell's 14 assists lift the Cavaliers to an 8-point win over the Spurs. Jared Allen having one of his best games of the season, one of his best scoring nights of the season, and Donovan Mitchell having one of the best playmaking games in his career. Donovan Mitchell obviously not usually a playmaker, not usually a pass-first type of player, but it seemed that way in this game. They looked very comfortable back home, obviously. You know, the Cavs have been kind of struggling recently, which is insane to say because they're still probably going to damn near get 65 wins on the season. And it's crazy to say a team like that is struggling, but they looked good at home. They get the dub. I mean, Donovan Mitchell getting to the rim in Showtime, throwing it down. Gotta love that. Really good basketball tonight. Jared Allen, getting through defenders, scoring in tough ways, and playing good on both sides of the ball. Jared Allen really good on both sides of the ball. And, he was just getting to the rim at such a high caliber. You look at the Spurs, Devin Vassell, I guess that wasn't enough. 22 points off of 40% three-point shooting. I mean, I had him on my fantasy lineup. It wasn't enough, though. 22 points, 11 rebounds for Stephon Castle as well, who shot 40% from three. And then you get 17 points, 10 rebounds for Keldon Johnson off the bench. Not a great game for Chris Paul. I'm not going to lie to you. He only shot 25% from three, shot 20% from the field. Man, I mean, you have Julian Champagne, you have Jeremy Sohan, you have Keldon Johnson, you have some decent scoring options off the bench, but Chris Paul's supposed to be that leader. He's supposed to be that vet that's kind of stepping in, especially for De'Aaron Fox and Victor Wembanyama being hurt. It's not like they're going to make a push, to be honest. I think they're just going to tank and see if they can maybe get lucky in the lottery. I don't even think they will, but I don't know if that's possible, really. We'll see. I don't know, though. Yikes. You look at the Cavs, 29 points and 15 rebounds for Jared Allen. Insane performance. 25 points, 14 assists for Donovan Mitchell. So those two really get it done for the Cavs. Pretty simple win for them there. There you go. Moving on to the Mavs and the Magic. It's really cool to see the Mavs actually win games without Kyrie Irving. Jaden Hardy and Anthony Davis lead the Mavs past the Magic by 9. Jaden Hardy, obviously a very underrated piece off the bench for this team. Great scoring for Jaden Hardy, and I mean, Anthony Davis scored at a solid level, and he rebounded at a solid level as well. Obviously, you're not going to expect a great stat lines for Anthony Davis because they're just kind of getting him back in the swing of things for this team, but they're trying to make that playoff push, and I think they have the 10 seed right now to make the play-in, so there you have it. They get the win. 80. Huge quarter for the Mavs in the third to really give them the advantage. Anthony Davis was hitting some threes. Really good game. Obviously, Anthony Black was making it tough for them. The guard play for the Magic is really fucking good. And if they keep developing those guys, that could be a problem. Paolo Banchero just fighting hard on the offensive end, trying to get it done for this team. Wendell Carter Jr. was being a lob threat. Obviously, again, with Anthony Davis not being in full condition. But shout out to Jaden Hardy, man. 22 points off the bench. He played really well. Very efficient minutes as well. He didn't even play that much. You look at the Magic, 35 points and 10 rebounds for Paolo Banchero. He continues to put up these insane performances just for the Magic to lose. And, I mean, Franz Wagner put up 20 points as well. KCP, man, what was that? Missed all 4 shots he took. All he had was 4 rebounds in 33 minutes. I mean, my God. They didn't make any proper adjustments either. Like Jonathan Isaac, Tristan Da Silva, Goga Batazde, Gary Harris, Caleb Houston, Anthony Black. All these guys are on the bench, and you're choosing KCP because he's what? Because he's a vet? I hate teams that do that. You saw the Timberwolves do that with Mike Conley. It's just not going to work out. I don't think KCP is a worthy starter on this team right now. He can't score the ball. There's guys coming out there in freaking 6 minutes and doing more than he did in the entire 30 minutes of him playing the game. Is inexcusable, man. I don't know. KCP's not a bad player. Obviously, he was a huge part of, the Lakers winning the finals against the Heat. He made some huge shots, and I think that Game 6 game they played. But Oh, man. Ugly game there. We're going to move on to the Lakers and the Bulls. Another pretty unfortunate loss to the Bulls from the Lakers, and this time even more heartbreaking as Josh Giddey's half-court heave at the buzzer gives the Bulls a 2-point win over the Lakers. Shout out my boy Josh Giddey, one of the most underrated basketball players in the league right now, and it's easy to kind of breeze past that with like his past and how, he's been perceived for his whole controversy. But my goodness, half-court heave at the buzzer. One of the wildest finishes in the NBA this season. It was a crazy fucking game to watch. And it's March fucking Madness, baby. And in that fashion, we get a great game there. Crazy half-court buzzer beater. Still some really good basketball. Like Kevin Huerter was hitting some threes for the Bulls. 6 points in 6 seconds. In classic Laker fashion. Classic Lakers fashion post-title run. They choked the fucking game. I think that's what they've kind of been known for the past 4 years. Yeah, I mean, Kobe White was hitting threes. Nothing real. The Lakers played pretty decent. LeBron had 17 points, 12 assists after pretty unfortunate last game. You get 25 points, 10 rebounds for Luka, who shot 33% from three. You get 30 points for Austin Reeves, who shot 33% from three. DFS. I mean, come on. The guy shot 20% in 30 minutes. It's just useless minutes. You have Jared Vanderbilt, you have Gabe Vincent, you have Jordan Goodwin, you have decent guys off the bench that can score. I get it. DFS is a really good defensive threat, and there's a lot of teams that have defensive threats in their starting lineup. Jared Vanderbilt's a defensive threat too, and he's also doing more in 19 minutes than what you did in 30 minutes. So I think at some point J.J. Redick this game should have made the adjustment, should have gave Jared Vanderbilt, who shot 75% in his minutes, some playing time. I mean, come on. Grabbing some rebounds too, Jared Vanderbilt was. Playing better on-ball defense. Playing better at the rim defense. I mean, come on, this is undeniable here. You look at the Bulls, really good game for them. 26 points for Kobe White. He shot 50% from three. Kevin Huerter had 21 points. He also shot 50% from three. Like I said, Josh Giddey has been fucking incredible this season, and no one is talking about it. 25 points, 11 assists, 14 rebounds. It just needs to be talked about more. But with that being said, I think we can move on to what everyone has been waiting for me to talk about. Let's get into the Sweet 16. We're going to first start with there's only 2 games I want to talk about. First, we're going to talk about that Arizona-Duke game. I knew that game was going to be a classic, and man, it fucking delivered. And honestly, watching some of the games throughout the night, some of these teams look like NBA teams. It was insane. Cooper Flag flies in March Madness. Duke wins by 7 over Arizona. They reach the Elite 8. Shout out to Duke. I think this is the farthest they've made it in the tournament in a long time. I don't know if Paolo Banchero made it this far. I definitely know that Zion didn't make it this far. I don't know when the last time Duke has made it this far in the tournament. What a stud, man. Cooper Flag put on a skills clinic, overcame an onslaught from Arizona and Caleb Williams. Insane scoring for Cooper Flag, and obviously rebounding, passing, rim protecting at very high levels. And they get the win. And Cooper Flag did it all. This guy is a damn freshman, and he comes into the tournament against a 5th-year guy and looks fucking incredible. Cooper Flag, Common Malik, I can get in again on the alley-oops. The chemistry there was unmatched. And yeah, Cooper Flag just using his length, just as we saw him in high school, blocking shots. He looked great. Obviously, Henry Visar was looking pretty dangerous at the rim off some lobs, and he was using his size as well. He had some tough shots, I'll give it to him, but man, Duke got it done. You got to give some credit to Caleb Love, though. This is obviously going to be his last season, and this was his last college game, but damn it, I'm ready to see Caleb Love in the NBA. The guy had 35 points in this game, and none of his other teammates really had much to show for it. I mean, I don't know. I'm pretty disappointed in Toby Awaka. I definitely think he could have played a little better. Again, they have a decent bench. KJ Lewis, they have Conrad Martinez, they have Carter Bryant, they have Henry Visar. They have a decent bench going into this game, and that's obviously why they're a 4th seed, and that's why they won 2 games in the tournament. But man, Awaka has got to play a little better. And I mean, it's not I guess he had foul trouble. That's also a thing. You can't get 4 fouls in 13 minutes in the March Madness tournament when you're playing a 40-minute basketball game. That's just not going to work out. That obviously killed them a little bit. there were a lot of fouls called this game. Like, it's starting to kind of look like an NBA game. I think there were like over 45 fouls called in this game, which is like 2 a minute, which is pretty bad for college basketball. But wow, Duke is so good, man. 30 points for Cooper Flag. He shot 60% from 3. You get 20 points for Con Knuppel, who made both of his threes in this game. Yeah, between those two, they shot 5 for 7 from 3. That's incredible. And what a duo that is. Those two are really getting it done for the Duke Blue Devils, and they move on in the tournament. Moving on to the final game, probably one of the best games we've seen all March Madness. We have Arkansas and Texas Tech here. Sweet 16 action. There's obviously a lot up for debate. Should Calipari should he have called a timeout? Yes and no. I mean, there are two sides of it, because obviously Texas Tech is the better team defensively, and they would have had time to set up their defense. But then again, Arkansas is a much less experienced team, I think, offensively. I mean, DJ Wagner's been there for a while, but he's been in college for a while. He went to Kentucky before this, but Texas Tech's late layup completes an incredible comeback. OT thriller. I mean, it shouldn't even come down to the debate of the timeout, because the fact of the matter is Calipari and the Razorbacks choked a 16-point lead in the third round of the tournament. That's something you just cannot do. I mean, Darian Williams, huge threes, again and again, making layups. These guys on Texas Tech, they're so versatile. They score on all levels of the floor. I mean, Trevin Brazil, though, for the Razorbacks, too. He played really good, tough baskets. Carter Knox was playing really good. I don't know, man. You look at the Razorbacks. Yeah, Carter Knox, man, 20 points, made all 4 of his threes, shot 75%. You get a 30-point game for John L. Davis, the FAU transfer, who shot 33% from 3. And I'm not going to lie, pretty disappointing game for Jonas Aidoo, especially when you see kind of the games he had recently in the tournament. I mean, he shot 60%, so, like, he played good with his touches. It's just they weren't giving him the ball enough. And honestly, they don't really have much going for them off the bench. Like, Boogie Flan didn't play at all. Visic, Richmond, none of those guys really played that much. And of course, it's understandable. This is a third-round game. You want your best guys out there for most of the game. But Jonas Aidoo scoring 6 points in 34 minutes doesn't really sit well for me, especially like when you look at what he did throughout the tournament. In the first round, he had 22 points. I guess he had 7 in the second round, like nothing crazy, but it just went down from there. And I guess Jonas Aidoo is not supposed to be a primary scorer. He only averages like 7 points a game, but could have played a little better. You look at the Texas Tech Red Raiders, they played a great game of basketball. JT Toppin, an absolute beast inside, 20 points for him. You get 20 points for Darian Williams, who's a great player. 22 points for Christian Anderson. He played really well, shooting 33% from 3, 50% overall. So those 3 guys really just cooked it up for the Texas Tech Red Raiders. So shout out to them. They get the win. Looking at tomorrow, I think Michigan State should be able to beat Ole Miss, just kind of looking game by game here. Kentucky, Tennessee. I think Tennessee should be able to beat Kentucky, but yeah, I guess we never know. Obviously, Auburn has a pretty good chance of beating Michigan. Same with Purdue and Houston. So I don't know. We will have to see if there's any good games tomorrow. Tune into the channel. Again, NBA action. I guess we could talk about some of the games tomorrow, even though no one really cares about that because we have March Madness. But tomorrow's games, I mean, the Cavs are playing the Pistons. I think that could be a really good fight. Knicks are playing the Bucks. Those are 2 really good games. So with that being said, leave a like, comment, subscribe. Again, every single night there is basketball on. We're going to be covering the March Madness tournament.